All right, now we'll be back from the break. Let's keep pushing on with more of the business information.
And this time we're heading to online, what's happening on the online world or in the online world. In Kampala and central places around Kampala, they are highlighting that Greater Kampala residential property prices remain very stable. So if you're planning to come and reside around central areas in Kampala, prices are likely to be very favorable for you at some point. But this has to be, your budget has to be considered first of all. What you need to know before this is that the increase, according to Ms. Nakayenga, was due to the property purchase in Wakiso district, as a number of people have resorted to reside outside Kampala, which is getting more crowded. And prices of residential property in Greater Kampala metropolitan area decreased to a negative 5.8% in the quarter ended March, according to Uganda Bureau of Statistics, highlighting as well that according to the quarterly residential property price index for 2021-2022, the third quarter property rates for residential properties decreased on a negative 5.8% from a negative 4.5% in the second quarter, and data from UBOS indicated that property rates in Kampala Central and Machindia division registered the largest reduction, declining by a negative 7.9% compared to 17.4% in the second quarter. Let me first explain this particular statement, because I'm speaking about negative, you might be lost. So let us first of all take a 17.4%. This is the percentage at which prices were moderately at in the recent quarter ended 2020-2021. But now we're in 2021-2022. And when we speak about 2021-2022, there is a negative 7, that means a minus 7 on 2 from 17.4%, a minus 7.9%, a reduction on prices of residential housing in areas of Machindia and Kampala. But when you look at Machindia, let us first talk about Machindia areas. That is around Nsambia, neighborhoods of Nsambia. A lot has been reported around those places whereby you find a lot of thugs. This is even reports coming in from police at some point. This is some areas that are earmarked threat of crime. If you look at Machindia areas, Machindia divisions. And this also reflects that we are seeing a reduction in prices. Why? Because people don't want to live there at a point. People choose safety. When you're looking for a house at some point, one thing that you must consider always is security, number one. It comes first, regardless of the price you have. At least you would want to settle in a place, even when it has no gate, but the neighborhood, you feel comfortable. We're not speaking about having a gate, having security, police, but how is the neighborhood? So when the neighborhood is insecure, people tend to, distance themselves from such places. That's why we're seeing reductions in Machindia divisions. And when you look at, according to also a senior statistics report, UBOS here, Ms. Juliet Nakayenga was highlighting that beyond 2 years, residential price decreases were also registered in Nakawa division, which recorded residential property inflation of a negative or a minus 7.8% compared to a minus 2.7% during the 2021-2022 second quarter. Now when we speak about Nakawa division, that's when we bring Chireka areas, Boyogerere. Still a lot of crime, and this is according to police. This is not just my say. There is a lot of crime highlighted in these areas. Why? Because places are cheap there, so they tend to attract very many people at some point to settle around there, and this comes with a lot of risks, not just crime, but a lot of risks, settlement and accommodation risks involved. That's why some people tend to shift. People tend to shift every month. You have paid 3 months, you've lived in that residential area, Jorampo, you feel like, okay, it's time to move on. It's time to move to another destination. That's why we are seeing all these minuses and reduction being highlighted by UBOS. But this still remains an opportunity as an opportunity for you to embrace in areas in Nakawa and Machindye as well as Kampala Central Division. And when we speak about the central part, we're speaking about more so in Chikoni areas where there are mostly hostels because now we are already anticipating for the end of the semesters. Many students might go home or might abandon, they are done with their semesters. So you realize rentals are going to come down in these particular areas I highlighted for you. Take a chance there, explore, good luck.
And also, the Daily Monitor coming out to reveal that prices of food products are increasing and have increased by 9.7%. As when you look at the food prices, among which include crops, animals and fisheries products, increased by 9.7% in the 12 months to January. And according to the data from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, the increase, according to UBOS, indicates that was due to rise, which was registered in September 8%, October 7.8%, November 7.5%, which could have been a result of a spike in demand resulting from lifting of the lockdown in July, while releasing findings of the annual Producer Price Index for Agriculture. Ronald Sombwe, the UBOS principal statistician for agriculture and environmental statistics, noted that the increase was mainly due to a spike in the price of animal products, which rose by 32.1%, while crop products increased by 9.6%. The forestry products prices increased by 7.8% in there. Now, there are notable increases which were recorded in the prices of cereals, which rose by 16.3%, while the oil seeds and roots tuber rose by 8.4% and 2.6% respectively. So as we are speaking right now, many prices are also increasing, as well as that of tobacco, bananas and plantains.
They're as well taking advantage of what is happening with soap, with sugar.
Cooking oil. Almost everything is now high.
Manufacturers are funny and business makers are funny. Entrepreneurs become funny at some point. So you increase tobacco prices. The tobacco farmer is going to tell you, okay, what can I say? Land has increased, the fertility has increased, the fertiles that they add have increased, the manure, something like that. And away from that now, being a Thursday, we speak politics and business, how the two combine. And we're now going to look at how health has got to do with business and running a lot of business firms. This is courtesy of Daily Monitor, highlighting how, quoting President Museveni's speech yesterday as he was officiating the morning at Kololo of the fallen Speaker of Parliament, that if I would have known Olanya was sick, I would have advised him to focus on health. And they were quoting him there. What maybe you need to know is that the business, because there has been a lot when everyone comes out to speak about the fallen Speaker of Parliament. And we have seen this. This is not about the late Jacob Olanya. We have seen this happening with a lot of politicians who live, or other people that have had an impact. One statement, or common statement people make, is that God has called him.
Because that's true. He has been called by the Almighty.
And Museveni yesterday was highlighting, President Museveni, that this business of God has called him, why does God have to call only Africans?
He calls them. He calls even the whites.
Yes, I know the science or the reality around this. Of course, it's godly oriented, but he was highlighting in a sense that everyone coming out to say, you know, God has called. The speech, okay, the kind of speech Africans tend to convey when someone is no longer in that particular sense. So highlighting also that why the average of life expectancy in Japan is around 79, why doesn't he call around that particular lane? I don't know if you understand that. We do not accuse God calling people dying, but in the sense of speech that we convey when our loved ones have gone, which is bringing to attention the business community. Why would you, Joram, take up a job or take up a responsibility when you know your health status is not fit for that particular job in that regard? Because you're bringing a risk to the business at the end of the day.
Well, first, health is wealth. If you have good health, then chances of you having good wealth also come on board. Now, responsibility is actually something inborn. Everyone has to be responsible in one way or the other, because regardless of the situation, responsibility kicks in. Now, at a time when you pick up a leadership role and you are saying you're ready to go, is because you feel you can manage. But in the long run, sometimes you may find out that your health is not going to help you out, or the pressure associated with the responsibility makes it even more difficult for your health. But I still think some people choose to go for these positions even when they have health risks, or let's say suffering from some of these health complications, is because they feel they can still manage.
At that particular point.
Yes, because they know regardless of the situation that is ongoing, they still can manage.
Okay, but sometimes most of business people highlight health comes first in every aspect. You have to put your health first. Why should you put forefronting working? Remember, as you're working, as you're thinking, as you're doing all what you do, as you're leading people, as you're governing, regardless of what you're doing, when you are in a health appealing situation that is not, good, do you know you're actually overworking yourself at that particular moment? And do you know your life expectancy is decreasing at that particular moment? So can I say, could that be a point when you say, okay, you know what, it's time for me to pause at the work and just have time to rest all until I have better treatment? Where does that leave you standing? As business, where does that first of all leave the business and your life?
Well, now,
that balance.
For example,
there.
some of them, now when you look at some businessmen, or let's say some entrepreneurs, people think that once he's gone, that means his business entirely. In Ugandan setting, entrepreneurs' businesses are based on the life of the CEO or the life of the founder. So once the founder gets sick or he's actually gone, the businesses tend to collapse or fail. So that is the same situation that happens. Now, most of these people tend to keep pushing on because there is something they have that vision that they want to achieve. So regardless of how sick they are, they will continue going for treatment, but still focusing on their business. And if you do understand, in most cases, even the pressure related to the work makes it more of the sickness.
Exactly.
But still they remain pushing. Why? Because they realize they have a vision.
I wouldn't have a problem if, Joram, you remain pushing in a positive way. But this actually concern comes after now, not only people are just resigning out of crisis, we're seeing people that have been in high offices resigning because of their health. An example, recent one, is the Ethiopian airline CEO who was resigning still because of his health problem. At what point do you feel like you need to break? That's a good thing. Like you're saying, you realize that you cannot do more of that particular one, you resign. But I wouldn't appreciate it if you just die on job, or if you die right there as you're working, because it's not a good thing. So you'd rather take a leave or a retirement or a break, because life matters after all. If you don't have it, you're not working. And now we're heading to any other stories that we have got here on SMB.
Well, and before we actually head into a story, let's just check out what is coming in from the world of weather. As we're heading into the weather forecast, then we do return with more of the business reports. But now, let's take a look at the weather forecast.
Okay, then. Speaking of the forecast, we kick-started with what is anticipated today from areas around Kampala and neighboring areas. This morning, It's been a warm and still a warm morning at 25 degrees Celsius, being highlighted partly sunny and partly cloudy. Afternoon will be also moderately warm and hot at 26 degrees Celsius. Evening temperatures will drop at 22 degrees Celsius, and in the overnight there will definitely be a minimal warm and cold night at 20 degrees Celsius for areas in Kampala. Temperatures will be high at 27 and lower at 20 degrees Celsius, making a humidity of 90%. Visibility is going to be seen at 12.87 kilometers, and today areas in Kampala, the wind will be traveling or speeding at 5 kilometers per hour, making a dew point of 18 degrees Celsius. The moon phase will be a waxing crescent for people in Kampala and the neighborhood.
And moving on to the people in Kenya, that is the weather forecast for Nairobi. In the morning, 22 degrees, partly cloudy and partly sunny. And in the afternoon, same thing, partly cloudy, partly sunny, as the temperatures will be 27 degrees. It will be colder in the evening and in the overnight, with the evening temperatures at 19 degrees and in the overnight 16 degrees Celsius. That is for the people of Nairobi in Kenya. And well, moving on still with what is coming in from Kenya, to take a look at the temperature and the wind speed. The wind will be moving at 10 kilometers per hour, while the dew point will be 16 degrees and the UV index 1 out of 10. As the moon phase will be a waxing crescent, as the high temperatures will be recorded at 27 degrees and the low temperatures will be recorded at 15 degrees, then humidity at 87% and visibility at 9.66 kilometers.
And now let's cross to areas in Kigali, Rwanda. This morning is a cold morning, relatively cold morning at 24 degrees Celsius, but highlighting a partly bit shiny morning with clouds. And afternoon, there is expected to be a bit of downpour at 24 degrees Celsius. Evening, temperatures will drop and it will be cold at 19 degrees Celsius. Overnight, there will be a cold, moderately cold night at 17 degrees Celsius for people in Kigali, Rwanda. Temperatures will be 26 degrees high and low at 16 degrees Celsius. It kind of feels like 18 degrees Celsius right now, making a humidity of 91%. And wind is traveling at 3 kilometers per hour, making a dew point of 17 degrees Celsius. The moon phase there highlighted to be a waxing crescent and visibility seen at 9.66 kilometers for people in Kigali, Rwanda.
And away from Rwanda, let's head to Cape Town, Western Cape, South Africa. As in the morning, 16 degrees Celsius. And when you look at what is coming in from the afternoon, 17 degrees Celsius. It's going to be sunny for the people in Cape Town. And in the evening and in the overnight, it will be quite cold as we head to the other areas of the world. And for today's focus for London, England, the United Kingdom, in the morning, 9 degrees. In the afternoon, 11 degrees. Evening, 7 degrees. As in the overnight, 4 degrees Celsius in there. They are heading to summer. That is for the people of London.
Still, you're seeing they're experiencing a lot of coldness around there.
Well, away from London, England, let's look at the wind speed in London. Will be moving at 23 kilometers per hour. As the dew point will be 4 degrees. The UV index 0 out of 10. Moon phase will be a waxing crescent. High and low, the high temperatures will be recorded at 12 degrees, low temperatures at 3 degrees, humidity at 78 degrees, and then 78%. And then the visibility is unlimited for the people in London. It has forever been unlimited in there. So away from the situation for the people of London.
We head into Cape Town, South Africa and Western Cape, where temperatures feel at 17 degrees Celsius higher and 13 degrees Celsius lower. Humidity 79%. Visibility seen at 9.66 kilometers. Wind speed traveling at 5 kilometers per hour, making a dew point of 9 degrees Celsius. A waxing crescent as the moon phase, and it currently feels 13 degrees Celsius for the people in Cape Town, Western Cape, South Africa.
And let's head to Renshu County, Sichuan, People's Republic of China. Now in the morning it will be 18 degrees and currently whole sunny, and in the afternoon 27 degrees and sunny still, and in the evening 19 degrees for the people of China, and in the overnight 14 degrees in there for the people of Sichuan in the People's Republic of China. And in weather today in Renshu County, the high temperature will be at 27 degrees and the low at 13 degrees. Humidity at 52%, as the visibility will be moving at 14.48 kilometers. Wind speed will be moving at 8 kilometers per hour and the dew point at 13 degrees, as the UV index is 9 out of 10 and the moon phase is a waxing crescent. And that is for the people of China. And that brings us to the end of our weather forecast as we head into more of the SMB reports. What do we have, Rita? She's very excited.
We enter into what government is set to acquire in regards to more land and oil and gas projects. However, compensation should be adequate and prompt accordance to the Article 26 of the Constitution of Uganda, which actually brings confidentiality to facilitate compulsory acquisition of land. Let us take a look at how government infrastructure and investment projects in regards to oil and gas so far are now faring.
In an exclusive interview with Smart 24 TV, Dr. Clarke Kisembo, a business consultant, gives a full understanding of investment.
I once said is what you forego and the risk you take to be able to gain. So what I mean is that what you forego, if we talk in terms of money, is if you have, say, 100,000 shillings, you invest it, or you buy some goods or services, and then you sell them. When you sell them, you get a profit of, say, 20,000. So that means that you have incurred a profit of 20,000, but also you've taken a risk of 100,000 to gain 20,000. So instead of money lying idle, you would rather utilize it through investment, and then you accumulate some more capital.
Kisembo says there are many reasons for investment. Among them is growing one's income.
Increase your income and revenue streams. If you're relying only on a salary, for example, inflation can eat away your money. When the economy becomes, things become expensive and your salary has not increased, which means that you actually, in that period, earning less than what you were earning before.
However, Clarke says there are also risks in investment that a person needs to look at before taking a decision to invest.
Depending on what business you've invested in. Because you could lose all what you've invested in if you don't, say, conduct research before investing. I've had some young people whom I associate with, even some elderly people, who get excited and invest in, say, have you heard of Ponzi schemes? Ponzi schemes is what we would call pyramid schemes. Like, I could be here and I start thinking of a business, and when I think of it, it's more of marketing a product. So I market a product. When I market this product, if I get 5 people and one of them goes up, they earn. But that kind of scheme has no foundation, has no asset base.
He further discloses about investment clubs and how they work.
Let's say what we call special purpose vehicles. So here we are friends, or we are workmates, or we are relatives, we come up with an idea of investing. But I, one person, can't invest alone because I don't have enough money or capital to do that investment. So I look out to my friends or my workmates or my family and say, please, could we join together, come up with an investment club whereby we dictate probably that every week there's money we collect, or every month from our salary, from different ways, and then this money we aggregate it into one pool, and then
And that's been at least something about investment planning as well as government infrastructures we plan for development. You've greatly been highlighted on towards what at least we need to know. And coming together, working together as a team is always the best when it comes to success and livelihood improvement. We're going to a break. After the break, we return with a topical discussion. Make sure you be a part of it. I'm not going to disclose who is coming. That's when you need to keep your remote tuned in. Stay with